Aye, I'm sure. Carlos, you good? We're not going to show any video. Okay.
My God.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. You're all aware of who I am, Sheriff Joe Lombardo, Clark County. There's going to be a little bit different orchestration in this press conference as compared to the rest. What I'm going to do right now, I think it's important that we address the victim issues we are experiencing and the resource issues that we are experiencing. So I'm going to key on that, on the original portion of this, and then subsequently Commissioner Sislak is going to provide some donation information and acknowledgement. And then after that, I will come back to the podium and address the overall investigation, where we stand and where we are going. Now, reference to the investigation piece, I don't want to repeat of what I experienced yesterday. It's an ongoing investigation, so I'll be limited in the details that I provide you, but hopefully we can get through this with some modicum of decorum. So please, don't rush me all at once. When we get to the question phase, I will identify you if you just raise your hand. Sound fair? Sure. All right, we'll get through this. Okay, so as a matter of formality, our department has worked through the night to identify all the victims of Sunday evening's mass shooting at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. We have identified all but 3 victims. We still have an active scene at the grounds near Mandalay Bay, so we ask anyone to stay away from that area until further notice. The FBI is working diligently to clear that scene. So the question is, the FBI versus us. We have partnered with the FBI, as I said from the very beginning of this, in the investigative phase. The FBI has brought a large amount of resources out of Washington, D.C. to assist us with that. So the reason why the Harvest Festival is still in continuation of investigation is not only solely related to the removal of the victims, but is also documentation of the scene. So we're using the best practice technology to ensure that we have complete documentation. That's why it is taking a longer period of time associated with this. So we ask for everybody's patience. As far as Las Vegas Boulevard, north and south, we anticipate to be open shortly in the next few hours to benefit with commerce and what we do as a community. All right, the key component here is resources and victim identification. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get through this as best I can, but the important piece is if you missed a number, we are putting up on lbmpd.com in the next hour the listing of all numbers I shall provide you today, and for people out in the public to contact us if they are lacking this or they don't see this broadcast. Okay, we're asking for anyone who might have information about the shooting in a criminal capacity or is a victim of the shooting to contact us via 311. If you are out of state, if you have left since the shooting and you have discovered you feel that you have become a victim or you realize you have an injury associated to it, we're still asking you to contact us, but the out-of-state number will be 702-828-3111. Additionally, if you are local and you have the ability to respond to a local substation, a working police substation, locals are familiar with, and you have the ability to file a report at that location. Now, the family reunification. All that is occurring at the Family Resource Center at the Convention Center located at 3150 Paradise Road. You can go there to file a missing person report. You can go there to have contact with the coroner's office. You can go there to get answers to your questions as far as family reunification. The phone number, if you have left the area, is 1-866-535-5654. Now, we went through a little short process here recently where that number was down. We provided a separate number. but we will go back to that original number because we have the technical aspects of that fixed. So I want to be very clear on the difference. If you are reporting a crime or you feel you are a victim of a crime, 311 is your outlet or a local police substation. If you are looking for victim information or family reunification, the Family Resource Center on Paradise Road is your point of contact. Now, personal property. We were getting several questions throughout yesterday and continuing today on people attempting to recover their personal property from the Route 91 scene. We are working out the details of that. We're in the planning phase of that, and we will have an answer for that in the next couple hours. So lbmpd.com will provide an answer to that probably before we have another press conference. But we are working diligently to get individuals who left personal property at the scene back to them as soon as possible. I anticipate it will not take place at the Route 91 location, but I do not want to give you furtherance of clarification at this point. So you will be provided that. The other issue is donations. As you can imagine, in any critical incident, the outpouring of support from private citizens, corporations, and everybody else associated with concern for the victims is overwhelming. And we appreciate that. But it comes to a point where we can't manage it. Now, the Red Cross is unable to manage it. We are unable to manage it at the substations. So if it's hard goods, such as water or canned goods or stuff that will not become perishable, 3 Square and Catholic Charities is accepting those donations. So we're asking you to provide that information to your listening public and to accept donations at that point. So the areas of, let me give you the addresses for those. So Catholic Charities is obviously at 1501 Las Vegas Boulevard North, and 3 Square is located at 4190 North Pecos Road. At this point, I will acquiesce to Commissioner Sisolak, and he will give you an update on the donation phase of this as far as victim satisfaction, and then I will return and we will conduct a Q&A associated with the investigation. Commissioner.
Thank you, Sheriff, and we appreciate you all being here today to give you a bit of an update on where we stand. The fund that the Sheriff and I set up yesterday has now surpassed 53,000 individual donations. It's in excess of $3.7 million as we speak. I want to bring especially, we need a lot more resources. We're going to need a lot more money. We've got individuals that are going to need future surgeries and health and so forth moving forward. I want to acknowledge a few special individuals not included in that total of $3.7 million. Last night, a private citizen called both the Sheriff and I and contributed $500,000 to the fund. That is not included in that total. This morning, Wayne and Kathleen Newton called me, and they have donated $100,000. That is not included in that total. For those who want to contribute and don't want to do it on GoFundMe, you can make a check to Las Vegas Victims Fund and mail it either to the county office, to my office, or to the sheriff's office. But I just got off the phone with Jim Murrin from MGM International, and the sheriff and I both spoke to Jim, and obviously they have stepped up in an enormous manner with this community and everything that they continue to do. And on behalf of MGM and their over 50,000 employees, they have contributed $3 million to this fund. So we appreciate everyone's support, the donations from $5 to now $3 million. And there's a lot of need, and we are going to do everything we possibly can to raise money for each of these individuals. So we appreciate you continuing to encourage folks, your viewers and readers, to support the campaign. It's Las Vegas Victims, either on GoFundMe, or you can make a check to Las Vegas Victims Fund. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Sheriff. We're working through the idea of possible distribution because we've already got some inquiries. I think it's going to be a few days before we can coordinate how we're going to distribute money. Right now, we're not looking at the minor property losses that some people have called on regarding backpacks and shoes and phones. We're looking at more major expenses as it relates to, surgeries, medical expenses, funeral expenses, transportation, and so forth. But we should have more details with you. We're working through the county office and the sheriff's office to develop something in the immediate future in terms of where people can go, who they can call to start distributing the money to the people who are most desperate. So thank you all very much.
Okay, just a quick synopsis or current status of investigation. I won't reiterate what we discussed yesterday in previous press conferences, but we have completed the investigation at the Reno property, and I'm sure the question will be presented of what was recovered there. So it was numerous electronic items, additionally 5 handguns and 2 shotguns, and a plethora of ammunition. So we have served search warrants at 3 separate locations. That would be the room at the Mandalay Bay, the Mesquite location, and the Reno location. Additionally, we served a search warrant on the suspect's vehicle located at the Mandalay Bay. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Could you be specific about the modifications to the weapons that made them automatic? Are there different versions of what that can mean? What were we talking about here?
The question was, what are the modifications associated with the weaponry? ATF is participating in that evaluation. I can't give you an answer on whether any of them are automatic or not, but we are aware of a device called a bump stop, and that enables an individual to speed up the discharge of ammunition. I don't want to give you any more details than that, but in partner with the FBI, the ATF, they are sending those weapons back east to the FBI crime lab for further evaluation.
Sure. You found that there, the bump stop, that Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
Sheriff, has the girlfriend,
Yes, sir.
Mary Lou Danley, has she given authorities information about his motive, about his movements, and if so, can you tell us what that information is?
No, we don't have that information yet, but I will assure you that investigation with her is ongoing, and we anticipate some information here from her shortly.
Sheriff, around to the number. Hi, we have some information in regards to $100,000 going to the Philippines. Do you know anything about that?
No, ma'am, I do not. No, here you go. Let me back up a little bit. There's a lot of information I do know, okay? But it's an ongoing investigation, and when I say I do not know, I may know. But as you can imagine, in a criminal investigation, we want to ensure the continued safety of our community and that all those questions are answered. And I assure you, this investigation is not ended with the demise of Mr. Paddock.
Sheriff, could I ask you a question here? Could you give us an update, if there is an update, on the victims and the injuries? And also, is there anything new? The key question we've all been wondering about, are you making any progress, whether you're able to give us specifics or not, are you making any progress on determining a motive?
No, I'll answer your last question first. No. We are making progress, but I don't have complete answers yet. So I anticipate a substantial amount of information to come in the next 48 hours. Hold on, let me finish the rest of it. As far as the injuries, it goes across the board. The coroner commented on that yesterday. We have trampled injuries. We have people trying to escape, injuries of their own device. We have gunshot wounds. So if you're looking at total type of injuries associated with all their injuries and the people that died, it goes across the board. I can't give you a percentage associated with gunshot versus other types of injuries.
Are the numbers, though, the general numbers, 59, 525, have those changed or are they the same right now?
We believe the injury number has decreased slightly. And when I say slightly, maybe 20, because we had a double count error occurring at one of the hospitals.
And the death?
But we're looking close and still in close proximity of the number I provided you.
Can you tell us her whereabouts and if you've spoken to her directly already?
I can't tell you her current whereabouts right now. All I know is the Philippines, and we are in conversation.
And is she a suspect?
Japan?
Is she a suspect?
Currently, she's a person of interest.
Sheriff.
Who is this?
girlfriend.
She's a person of interest.
Sheriff.
Yes, the Daily Mail has released photos that shows the hotel room after the SWAT team entered, and it shows guns and ammunitions inside. Many outlets are re-disseminating. Can you verify the legitimacy of these photos, and should any other outlets disseminate them?
I can't verify whether they're legitimate or not. What I can tell you is I'm very troubled by it. We have an internal investigation occurring as we speak on how those photographs were obtained by the public.
Sheriff, can you talk then to what was found inside that hotel room that the gunman used? Specifically, CBS News is reporting that there was a camera inside that room. Was the gunman recording? Was the gunman transmitting that video anywhere else?
I'm not aware of any transmission, but there was cameras. There was cameras located outside of the room and inside of the room, along with the firearms.
And he had set up how many cameras?
I don't know what the specific.
And for what purpose, do you think?
Well, I anticipate he was looking for anybody coming to take him into custody.
So essentially, you have a recording of him carrying out this carnage?
No, that's not essentially what I'm saying. That is being evaluated. The FBI took all digital and electronic evidence into custody, and we are evaluating.
Sheriff,
To follow the,
if you would, follow question on, do we know if this man was targeting this particular event, or did he have in mind perhaps another music event that was going to be coming up in the Las Vegas area as a possible target? Have you developed any evidence to that
No,
effect?
we haven't developed that yet.
so there
I
was a
will
report
provide
that
you that
he,
information at a later date.
to follow on that, there was a report that he may have intended to target the Life is Beautiful concert with Lord
We're
and
unable
Chance
to
the
confirm
Rapper
that.
the week before.
We're unable to confirm.
Sir, I have a question about the 72 minutes that transpired. We're just trying to get clarity as to, why did it take 72 minutes for the SWAT and PD to go to the shooting hotel room? From when the shots were reported to the time when they entered the hotel room at the Mandalay Bay. Can you give us a little more specifics about
What's
how
the
it
clarity?
went down?
What's the clarity you're
Some specifics as to how it went down, what time the shots rang out, what time you guys got the call, and what time
We received a call at 10:08 p.m. The best of our estimates and video review, we continued to fire at a progressive successive rate for approximately 9 minutes. As you can see by any video you see in the public space, it was hard to determine where they were coming from. Once it was evaluated, it was coming from the Mandalay Bay. As you can imagine how hard it would be to pinpoint the room from the outside. Officers subsequently teamed up, and moved over to the Mandalay Bay in order to locate and engage. But that was in conjunction with the Mandalay Bay security. Now, this is an opportunity for me to tell you something. The Mandalay Bay security was fantastic. I don't want anybody assuming that they are unsafe by, staying at one of our hotels. We would not have engaged this individual in the time lapse that we did without their assistance. We received information via their dispatch center and or their operations center, their call center, from individuals staying within the Mandalay Bay that helped us locate where this individual was sequestered. Hold on, I want to finish your question. All right. And so subsequently, that takes time. As you can imagine, moving from the location of the event, deciding whether you're going to help victims evacuate or you're going to decide whether you're going to take charge and put an element together and go engage this individual. So we have a lot of bifurcation of responsibilities associated, especially in a dynamic event. I want to say kudos to those officers that got together and said, this is what we trained for. Active shooter, we're putting an element together. Let's go engage this individual and locate them. Okay? And that's what we did. And when the security officer was engaged by the suspect, we backed off for immediate apprehension, and SWAT team formed and made entry.
What time was the security officer engaged by the
I don't have
suspect?
that time for you.
Sure. How concerned are you about your officers facing weapons like these?
Absolutely concerned. The world has changed, and who would have ever imagined this situation? I couldn't imagine it. And for this individual to take it upon himself to create this chaos and harm is unspeakable. And we have to try to spitball what if the situations at all points when we train and ensure that we have proper response, and I think we did a fantastic job.
So, Sheriff, Mandalay Bay Security identified the room before the SWAT arrived?
No. Well, yeah, before SWAT arrived, but not before my officers arrived. They were married or hand-to-hand with my officers when we made entry over to the hotel. It was a matter, if you recall yesterday, I said between floor 29 and 32, and during that process of evaluating the floors, we received additional information where he was located, and they immediately responded.
Sheriff?
What time did SWAT breach his suite?
I don't have that number.
Sheriff?
There's only one room. Did he continue to shoot from 10:08 until the SWAT team came in, or why did he stop shooting? Do you understand that?
That's for us to evaluate in the investigation.
And can you tell
Sure.
us where the bodies were found? Were they scattered throughout the venue, or were they in one